In this next activity, I'd like to show you how to use the Learning Sufficiency Diagram to calibrate your thinking and elevate your test performance. The Learning Sufficiency Diagram makes the confirmation triggers that students rely upon to determine if their studying is good enough visible. This metacognitive tool links the metrics and feelings of satisfaction that guide students' mental products to their thinking skills. It also helps students deliberately transition their thinking to progressively deeper types of interactions. The result is more productive academic work and higher quality academic products. I'll use Keisha's story from the LearnWell Project's blog to show you how to use this vital tool. You can view and download this story from the blog by clicking the link on the screen or by visiting the learnwellprojects.com/blog. Keisha was an overstudier. She spent countless hours poring over material, but she didn't study from a position of confidence, and her studying never produced assurance. Keisha's main problem was that she couldn't determine whether her studying was good enough. Questions such as, did I capture enough information? And how well do I know the information I've been studying? Tormented her mind. After days and sometimes weeks of studying, these questions still tortured her. But after learning how to use the Learning Sufficiency Diagram through a workshop presented by her university's Learning Center, Keisha studied with conviction and calmness. Her new way of studying decreased her stress and elevated her test performance. Here's what Keisha learned. Keisha learned to think of her mind as a production facility, a place where information enters and is transformed into knowledge products. This metaphor worked beautifully because Keisha had worked part-time in a furniture factory for several years. She learned that her thinking skills were the tools that transformed the information into her knowledge products. But most importantly, she became hyper-aware of the metrics and confirmation cues that triggered her feelings of preparedness. This heightened sensitivity gave her complete control of her studying and ensured that her study time would lead to high performance. After a few days of working with the Learning Sufficiency Diagram, Keisha realized that there was a huge disconnect between the quality of knowledge products she needed to produce and the metrics and cues that triggered her feelings of preparedness. Keisha now understood that the default memory-based study skills she was accustomed to using, such as acquiring, storing, and retrieving information, were insufficient. She learned how to use the transition zones to deliberately change the feelings she relied upon while studying. These actions expanded Keisha's knowledge confirmation system and allowed her to produce qualitatively better knowledge products. Now, Keisha studies with great assurance, knowing that the thinking and feeling components of her learning are aligned. The Learning Sufficiency Diagram will transform your studying as well. I encourage you to download this helpful tool and begin updating your knowledge confirmation system as well. Here are some immediate action steps you can take. Step 1. Select a segment of information from one of your courses. Consider the information as raw materials that need to be properly processed to produce the knowledge products your professors are seeking. Step 2. Use the first column of the Learning Sufficiency Diagram to identify the level of thinking you want to activate. Step 3. Use the second column to connect the products that will result from that level of thinking. Step 4. Use the third column to understand the metrics that guide your studying. In Step 5, use the fourth column to appreciate the confirmation signals that are triggered by each respective level of metrics. Use this tool for 30 days and you will gain control of your metrics and levels of confirmation. In a short time, you will reduce your study time and elevate your test performance.